Today I want to walk you through how I'm currently trying to manifest the growth of this YouTube channel and how you can apply the same steps to manifest your own YouTube channel or anything else. And yes, this video could age pretty badly, but because of the mindset I'm building right now, I honestly trust where this is going. By the way, at the moment of filming this, I currently have 24 subscribers. So if you're watching this sometimes in the future, you can actually check for yourself how things turned out. First of all, let's quickly talk about what manifestation actually is. Now, there are definitely lots of people that can go deeper into this topic and give you more details about how manifestation actually works, but I'm going to explain it to you in the way I understand it, and that's been making more sense to me. Manifestation is the idea of having a clear goal or vision and deciding this is something you are going to achieve. It's not just about really wanting something, it's about truly believing that it can actually happen. And because of that, you start taking small steps in that direction while also deeply trusting the process. Your mindset shifts. You start thinking and acting in a way that is aligned with what you want, and that's what people often describe as raising your vibration. You signal to the universe that you are actually ready to receive what you want. But how do you actually manifest your dream life? If you've ever looked into manifestation, you've probably heard people telling you to imagine how you will feel once you've reached your goal. Then trying to hold on to that feeling throughout your day and especially before going to bed. And to be fair, that's not entirely wrong, but it's also a little misleading, because what usually happens when you do this is that you start thinking about your big dream. You imagine it, and of course it feels amazing, so you get excited, but that's where things start to disconnect a bit. This is where the universe gets a bit confused. When the goal feels very far away from your current reality, that excitement can almost become too big. You're trying to step into a version of yourself that doesn't feel fully achievable yet. And your brain, being the pretty smart thing that it is, can tell. So instead of signaling something achievable, your excitement starts signaling an illusion. It tells the universe that you are still dreaming about this, therefore you're not actually getting there. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're currently broke and struggling financially, and your dream is to become a millionaire. As much as that goal is actually possible to achieve, from where you are right now, it's still too far out of reach. You can picture the lifestyle, the freedom, how it will feel to be a millionaire. But that reality is so different from your current situation that it just feels too good to be true. Therefore, you are still signaling the universe that this is something that you want. And if you want it, it means you don't have it yet. And that's the energy you keep reinforcing. Something distant, something separate from you. So what should you do instead? Let's go back to the previous example. Now you are still broke, you still have debts, but instead of focusing on becoming a millionaire, you decide you are going to pay off one of your debts. And maybe it's just a small one, but you decide you are going to pay it off. And the difference is, you know you can do it. It's a little step you can see yourself taking. And more importantly, you know you can succeed in it. And yes, that probably feels way less exciting than the idea of becoming a millionaire, right? But that's exactly the point. Because in that moment, you are no longer reaching for something that feels far away. You're stepping into a version of yourself that already feels possible. In this case, someone who has one less debt. And that's the shift. I once heard this idea that the state of mind you want for manifestation is a kind of happy but calm certainty. It's the same feeling you have when ordering something from a website you trust. You are happy about it, but you're also calm. You've placed the order, so you know it is going to arrive, even if you don't know the exact moment it will happen. You're not checking the door every 5 minutes to see if it's there yet, and even if it takes a bit longer than expected, you're not worried because you know it's coming and you trust the process. And that's the energy you want to move with. So what you want is taking things step by step. In my case, a few days ago I only had 3 subscribers on this channel, but I already felt sure that I was going to get to 10. Then I reached 10 subscribers and I calmly knew I was get to 20. You can probably see the pattern here. Instead of trying to manifest 10,000 subscribers right away, which sounds exciting but also very far from where I am right now, I'm focusing on small, believable steps. Maybe 5 or 10 subscribers at a time. And the moment I'll reach 100, I'll start manifesting for the next 100. The steps can grow over time, but only when they start feeling natural and possible. Because by then, my brain will already have proof. It will know that getting to 100 subscribers is possible, so the next 100 won't feel out of reach anymore. They will simply feel like the natural next step. In the same way that right now with 24 subscribers, I feel calm and certain that I'll get to 30. And something else I've noticed, and I'm still working on this, is that things don't move faster when you keep checking them. Refreshing YouTube Studio app every 5 minutes doesn't make the number go up. If anything, the moments where I notice growth are usually when I haven't been thinking about it as much. When I've just been doing my thing while still holding that quiet belief in the background. So the idea is simple. Take small steps. Let each goal feel real and achievable. And once you reach it, gently expand from there without turning it into something that feels out of reach or overly exciting again. Now, you have a basic understanding of how manifestation works, but there's one more crucial piece. And honestly, this could be the hardest part to put into practice. We talk about imagining how you will feel once you reach your goal, but on its own, that's not enough. What really makes a difference is this. You don't just imagine your future self, you start becoming them. You set your goal to something you trust you can achieve. So now it's time to get into the mindset of the version of you who already achieved it and begin living from that place. Let's go back to our example. If you're broke, imagine the moment when you just paid off one of your debts. You'll probably feel a sense of relief. You'd feel lighter and calm. But instead of only imagining that feeling for a moment, you start actually carrying it with you. You start moving through your day with the same sense of calm and quiet confidence, grounded in the belief that you are on your way there. The same thing applies to me with this channel. I already see myself as someone whose channel is growing, not in a huge, overwhelming way, of course, but steadily. And because of that, creating feels more natural. When I post something, I don't question if people will watch it. I trust that the right people will. It's a subtle shift, but it changes everything. You're no longer chasing a future version of yourself, you're actually stepping into them, one small step at a time. So, will everything just run smoothly? In an ideal world, maybe, but in reality, probably not. Even if you shift into this new mindset, your external reality might still take a little time to catch up. For a while, things will still reflect your old situation, and sometimes that can look like a setback. This is usually the point where things start to feel frustrating. You're doing everything right, but you're not seeing the results yet. But honestly, this is often the moment right before things begin to shift. It can almost feel like you're being tested. Not in a dramatic way, but more like the universe asking, are you really sure you want this? And this is where it matters most. When this happens, and it probably will at some point, pause for a second, take a breath, and instead of getting frustrated, try to see it as part of the process. Nothing has gone wrong. Things are just catching up. Hold on to that calm certainty you've built. Don't drop it just because things aren't showing up immediately. Keep thinking, acting, and showing up as that version of yourself. Because you don't really have to become that person anymore. You already have it inside of you. And finally, keep working for it. Because yes, your reality might take some time to reflect what you're building internally. But that doesn't mean you just have to sit back and wait. You still have to show up. Imagine you want to write a book or even just the first chapter. You can take small steps believe that you're going to do it, shift into the mindset of someone who already has written it. But if you never actually sit down and write, nothing will happen. The universe isn't going to write the chapter for you. You are the one who needs to do the work, and it's the same for me with this channel. I can't expect to grow it if I don't post anything. Creating and showing up is part of the process, and it's also exactly what someone with a growing channel will be doing. So that's what I do. So yes, do the work, but don't stress about it, because I see a lot of people working really hard towards their goals, but feeling anxious the whole time. They're constantly checking, constantly worrying, constantly thinking about how far they still are, and that energy keeps them stuck. But if you take it step by step, stay consistent and trust where you're going, if you move with that calm certainty and you embody the version of yourself who is already one step ahead, then you are on the right path. And I promise you, you will get there. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I think it will be an interesting one to come back to in the future to see where it all started. Also, I would love to know what you're currently working towards, so feel free to share that in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!